The morning light arrives here not as a surge, but as a slow, deliberate settling upon the stone. There is a profound weight to the limestone plinth, its edges meeting the air with a precision that seems to hold the entire garden in place. Beneath it, the pale gray stones rest in a state of absolute stillness, each one occupying its own specific coordinate in the geometry of the corner. The dark cedar of the boundary fence stands tall and unwavering, creating a private container for this single, sculpted sphere of green. Nothing moves within this frame. The air is held captive by the high walls, and the soft moisture of the fog softens the transition between the built and the grown. It is a moment of total structural clarity, where the architecture of the garden provides a sense of permanent, quiet resolve. The path extends forward with a rhythmic predictability, the slate pavers offering a wide and steady surface for a journey that covers only a few yards. On one side, the brickwork of the house stands as a warm, textured sentinel, while the trellis opposite creates a rhythmic play of shadow and light. This is a corridor of intentionality, a small slice of ground where every line has been considered and every material chosen for its ability to remain silent. The fine gravel fills the gaps with a dark, matte texture, swallowing the sound of any imagined footfall. There is no urgency to reach the end of this path, for the space itself is the destination. The light is even and democratic, touching the concrete and the stone with the same muted grace, reinforcing the sense of an enclosed, private world tucked away from the street. The water in the granite basin is so still it appears as a solid sheet of obsidian. It holds the reflection of the sky and the lean silhouette of the sapling with a fidelity that rivals the physical world. Positioned against the stark, white-rendered wall, the pool becomes a focal point of absolute gravity within the small patio. The cool light of the late afternoon drains the color from the scene, leaving only the essential contrast of dark and light. There is no ripple on the surface, no breeze to disturb the perfect mirror. The enclosure of the high walls creates a vacuum of sound, allowing the visual weight of the granite to dominate the senses. It is a study in the power of the minimum, where a few square feet of water and stone create a landscape of infinite depth and quietude. The concrete forms are cold and smooth, their intersections creating a series of right angles that carve the small garden into distinct zones of rest. Between the industrial gray of the walls and the loose texture of the gravel, a thin ribbon of moss has found a home, adding a single streak of organic life to the structured environment. Through the glass door of the residence, the interior world is visible but distant, separated by a threshold of perfect clarity. The light catches the top edges of the concrete, tracing a line of brightness that emphasizes the horizontal nature of the design. This nook is a sanctuary of geometry, a place where the scale is human and the boundaries are firm. The stillness is palpable, a heavy presence that settles into the corners of the walls and remains undisturbed by the outside world. The division between the elements is marked by a thin, oxidized line of steel, a boundary that is both delicate and permanent. On one side, the dark mulch holds the moisture of the earth, and on the other, the light stone of the terrace reflects the warmth of the departing sun. The evergreen shrub, clipped into a precise form, stands as a testament to the human hand within the garden. The textures here are the main event: the grain of the wooden fence, the roughness of the rust, and the smoothness of the stone. In this small, enclosed corner, the scale of the world shrinks to the relationship between these three materials. The golden light skims the surface of the ground, highlighting the microscopic details of the garden's floor. It is a view that requires no movement, only the steady observation of a space perfectly at rest. The steps seem to float against the dark mass of the charcoal brick wall, a series of horizontal planes that lead the eye upward into the unknown reaches of the private garden. The masonry is precise, the mortar lines almost invisible, creating a monolithic surface that absorbs the light. A single vine of ivy makes its way across the brick, its green leaves providing the only break in the monochromatic palette. The air in this narrow passage is cool and still, held between the house and the rising garden levels. The lack of railings or ornamentation emphasizes the architectural intent of the space. Each step is a platform of silence, a part of a larger structure designed to elevate the spirit through simplicity. The light is soft and directionless, filling the space with a quiet, silver glow that makes the stone feel ancient despite its modern lines. The midday sun casts sharp, geometric shadows across the white pebbles, creating a high-contrast map of the space. The single tree in the center stands as a living sculpture, its branches etched against the white expanse of the surrounding walls. There is a sense of absolute enclosure here, a world defined by four walls and the sky above. The wooden bench is the only invitation to linger, its weathered grain a warm counterpoint to the sterile perfection of the stones. This courtyard is a room without a roof, a place where the passage of time is measured only by the slow rotation of the shadows across the floor. The stillness is intense, amplified by the brightness of the light and the lack of any distracting detail. It is a landscape reduced to its most basic elements: light, shadow, stone, and wood. The sound of the water is the only movement in this quiet corner, a consistent and rhythmic pulse that fills the small garden. The spout itself is a simple cylinder, emerging from the gray concrete with no fanfare. Below, the water meets the surface of the basin with a soft splash, the ripples quickly dissipating as they reach the moss-covered edges. The evening light is fading, casting long, soft shadows and turning the wet concrete into a dark, reflective surface. This is a small, intimate moment of life within a structured environment. The moss thrives in the constant humidity, its vibrant green a contrast to the industrial tones of the wall. The enclosure of the space captures the sound and the cool air, creating a microclimate of peace. Everything here is purposeful, a small machine of tranquility working in the corner of a residential home. The black slats of the gate provide a filtered view into the private world beyond, a rhythmic sequence of light and dark that obscures as much as it reveals. Beyond the threshold, the garden is a collection of soft greens and hard grays, a path of pavers leading toward the hidden side of the house. Dappled sunlight falls across the ground, the movement of the leaves above creating a slow, shifting pattern of light. The gate itself is a heavy, silent barrier, marking the transition from the public to the private. Within this enclosure, the air feels differentialer, more permanent. The residential adjacency is clear in the glimpse of the building's corner, a reminder that this garden is a domestic appendage, a place for the soul to retreat. The silence is protected by the metal and the stone, a quietude that feels both modern and timeless. The circles of the stone planters break the linear grid of the garden, their rounded forms offering a soft contrast to the straight lines of the cedar fence. The grasses within them are perfectly still, their fine blades reaching upward in the cool morning air. The gravel beneath the planters is a uniform sea of gray, providing a neutral stage for these architectural elements. This terrace is a place of absolute order, where every object has been placed with a specific intent. The light is thin and silver, highlighting the texture of the stone and the individual threads of the grass. The enclosure of the high fence creates a sense of safety and isolation, a small world where the only thing that matters is the relationship between the shapes and the light. It is a minimalist composition, a garden that functions as a piece of living sculpture. The blue hour brings a deep, atmospheric calm to the small wooden deck, the grain of the timber becoming more pronounced in the fading light. The stone wall opposite stands as a cold, solid boundary, its surface textured with the marks of the mason. In the center, the boxwood hedge is a dense, dark green rectangle, its form perfectly maintained within the wooden planter. The space is narrow, a canyon between the domesticity of the house and the permanence of the wall. Above, the strip of sky is a deep indigo, the only connection to the vast world outside this small enclosure. The silence here is heavy, a resting weight that seems to have settled into the wood and stone over many years. There is no movement, no sound, only the presence of the structured garden in the cooling air. The steel fire pit is a dark, empty vessel, its geometric lines echoing the square tiles of the terrace. It sits in the center of the frame, a cold object waiting for a flame that is not currently present. Behind it, the metal mesh screen provides a textured boundary, allowing a hint of the light beyond to filter through without revealing the neighbor's world. The dusk light is low and soft, turning the concrete into a sea of muted blue. This is a space of potential, but currently it is a space of absolute rest. The enclosure of the screen and the proximity of the house create a sense of deep privacy. The materials are honest and raw steel, concrete, and wire, forming a landscape that is both industrial and intimate. The stillness is undisturbed, a quiet moment in the transition between day and night. The stepping stone sits like an island in the dark water of the pond, a single point of solid ground in a liquid void. The concrete border is clean and sharp, separating the water from the surrounding gravel with a firm line. Against the background of the brick house, the pond becomes a cool, dark mirror for the morning sky. There is no life visible in the water, no plants to break the surface, only the perfect stillness of the dark liquid. The scale is small, a feature that fits perfectly into the corner of the residential plot. The light is fresh and clear, revealing the texture of the brick and the smoothness of the stone. This garden is a study in limits, a place where the boundaries are clear and the elements are few. The silence is profound, held in place by the solid walls of the home. The granite slab is a massive, unyielding presence, its horizontal line cutting across the deep green of the yew hedge. Supported by the simple concrete blocks, it forms a bench that feels as though it has always been part of the earth. The hedge behind it is a solid wall of living texture, its dense branches providing a soft but impenetrable boundary. The gravel floor is a field of gray, its tiny stones resting in perfect equilibrium. The light is diffused, casting no shadows and creating a world of soft, even tones. This is a place of absolute pause, a bench designed for a person who does not yet exist in this frame. The enclosure of the hedge and the weight of the stone create a sense of profound isolation from the outside world. It is a garden of presence, where the objects themselves are the story. From inside the home, the garden appears as a framed composition, a living painting of light and structure. The floor-to-ceiling glass is a transparent barrier, allowing the interior and exterior to coexist while maintaining a firm separation. On the patio, the single potted tree stands as a sentinel of the spring, its branches reaching toward the high concrete wall that marks the edge of the property. The evening light is gold and soft, filling the small space with a warmth that seems to emanate from the stone itself. This is the ultimate expression of the residential Gardena private, enclosed sanctuary that serves as a visual anchor for the home. The stillness is total, the silence protected by the glass and the stone. It is a moment of perfect architectural balance, where the garden and the house are one.